Welcome to the Inc. Productivity Tip of the Day. Today's tip. Caitlin Clark and neuroscience both recommend this stress-busting ritual. An expert opinion from Jessica Stillman. Would it be fun to be Caitlin Clark and be the all-time leading scorer in NCAA Division I basketball, WNBA Rookie of the Year, and all-around sports sensation? Absolutely. But also, imagine the pressure. The Athletic website has called her team the basketball equivalent of the Beatles and quoted a WNBA source who said she's worth close to $1 billion to the league. A former ESPN executive compared her to Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, and Tiger Woods in terms of her influence. All eyes are clearly on the most popular professional sportswoman of her generation all the time, expecting exceptional things. Add to that Clark's injury struggles this season, and you have a recipe for incredible stress. How does she deal with it? Recently, Clark spoke to Glamour about how she copes. Some of her stress-busting tools are adorable, like watching The Parent Trap on repeat. Some are solid but obvious, like speaking regularly to a sports psychologist. But one stood out as both accessible to everyone and backed by an absolute mountain of science: her longtime habit of journaling before games. Clark explained in an interview, "It makes me really intentional about what I want to accomplish and is a good reset if I'm feeling nervous or anxious about the game, to kind of wipe that away." This isn't a quirk of Clark's particular personality. Science has been looking into the mental health effects of expressive writing since psychologist James Pennebaker pioneered the idea in the 1980s. Study after study has found this type of writing is among the most effective ways to work through stress and other difficult emotions. Better mental balance isn't even the only research-backed effect of journaling. The New York Times reported studies have also found that writing in a journal can lead to better sleep, a stronger immune system, more self-confidence, and a higher IQ. Research out of New Zealand suggests that the practice may even help wounds heal faster. These positive effects seem to be long-lasting. What makes journaling so effective as a stress buster? These are big benefits, and as Caitlin Clark's short bouts of pre-game jottings suggest, you don't need tons of time or a complicated protocol to see them. Expressive writing simply means sitting down for a set amount of time, say 15 to 20 minutes, and brain dumping your thoughts about whatever is troubling you onto the page. No one, not you or anyone else, even needs to read what you've written afterwards. It's simple, so why does it work? If you want the super deep dive answer to this question, Stanford neuroscientist Andrew Huberman has a hugely detailed 90-minute podcast on the science of expressive writing you can check out. But for those pressed for time, the short answer seems to be that this type of journaling increases neuroplasticity, or the ability of the brain to change and adapt to events. Writing about tough situations seems to quiet the emotional parts of the brain and allow space for the thinking and considering parts to reconsider these events. You learn to tell yourself new stories, and this new interpretation tends to make stressful events more understandable and therefore less stressful. Joshua Smythe, who co-authored Opening Up by Writing It Down with James Pennebaker, said, "Journaling is a tool to put our experiences, thoughts, beliefs, and desires into language. And in doing so, it helps us understand and grow and make sense of them. All of which might convince you, if you're feeling stressed about past or future events, to dust off your old diary and follow the example of Caitlin Clark. But before you get started, it's important to note that expressive writing differs in a few key ways from a middle school journal where you confess your crushes or write down daily gossip. 1, you're not writing about whatever crosses your mind. You want to specifically focus on things that are troubling you, writing about what happened and your reactions. Ideally, as you get into the groove of journaling, you will write about not just your knee-jerk feelings, but also your more considered thoughts about the situation affecting you. Set yourself a fixed time for writing, and don't worry about style or organization. Just keep that pen, or pencil, or keyboard, the tools you use aren't important, moving. The only consideration when it comes to timing is actually not to journal too much. Forcing yourself to write every day can turn reflection into rumination, Pennebaker told the New York Times. He advises people to once again follow Clark's example and use writing as a tool in specific moments where you feel you need it, as opposed to something you have commit to doing every day for the rest of your life. Don't force it. He says if you're not feeling any benefit from journaling, stop doing it. Go jogging, see a therapist, go to a bar, go to church. So just to recap, journaling as a way to process difficult situations and memories is backed by a mountain of research, has broad and long-lasting mental and physical benefits, and requires neither special equipment nor a huge time commitment. Why not borrow from Caitlin Clark's playbook? Next time you're up against a stressful situation, try out her pre-game journaling ritual and see if it helps clear your head. That's it from Inc. For more expert opinions and sage business advice, go to Inc.com and be sure to come back tomorrow for another tip from Inc.